Hello, good afternoon, Debarma. Let me share the link with other students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, yeah. Let me share the meeting link. Building, sorry, material testing. Material B. Okay, today we'll be talking about the uh, different tests. We are going to talk about different tests. So today on the brick tests, we'll be talking about brick test. Okay. So for that, let me share my screen first of all. Okay. Mm, my mistake. Okay. So today we are going to talk about different brick tests. Okay. So we will be talking about brick tests, concrete tests, then we'll talk sand tests, etc. These will be going on further. So these are your last topics, which are your tests on different materials. Okay, different tests, whether it be laboratory or field test, how to do that. Okay, so today basically we are going to talk about the brick. There are different types of brick. Which brick should you consider for your construction, etc. So for that also different experiments are there. So okay, here are two different parts. Okay, which is your first is your laboratory tests on brick, and then field test on brick. Field tests on brick, when you do when you don't have any labs over nearby, but you have to check the quality of the brick, but you have to check the quality of the brick on the site itself, whether it is good enough or not for your construction. Okay, so okay, so we have the first ones we are going to discuss is your laboratory tests, which are water absorption test, how much your brick can absorb water. Okay, how much it should absorb, so that will depend upon the prop that will specify the quality of the brick, that it should not absorb this much, it must absorb, it should be able to absorb this much of water. Okay, so crushing strength, next is your crushing strength test on brick, then next is efflorescence test on brick, and then the dimensional stability test on brick. These are your laboratory tests which we need to perform on the bricks to check the brick quality, whether it is good or not for your construction. Okay, the next is your field test. When we do not have any laboratory nearby, we can check with the help of, if we check these things, hardness test we can do on the field itself, soundness test of the brick, impact test on the brick, shape and size test on the brick, and the structure test on the brick. These tests we can do on the field itself. Okay, when we do these on field itself, according to this also we can specify that okay, this brick is okay for the construction one, we can consider this brick. Okay, we can use this brick. So let us first of all discuss now the laboratory tests on the brick. So first being the water absorption one, right? Okay, so laboratory test, the first laboratory test on brick which we are going to talk about is your water absorption test on brick. Inside lab test on brick, various types of test on bricks like water absorption test, these are done. Okay, so what is your water absorption test? This is your, okay, water absorption test on brick is the measure of the quantity of water that is absorbed by the bricks when it is immersed in water. Okay, in water, in the water absorption test, the brick is weighted. So this is the procedure how you can find out what is the amount of water your brick is taking or absorbing. So that is one property of your brick, that is how much it can absorb the water. If it absorbs more water, it is not good. Okay, so we have to, okay, see, like we have to check how much it is absorbing. Your brick which you are considering for your construction, you have you will buy some bricks. So based on what you are going to check the property quality of that brick, water absorption is the first one. Okay, when we immerse it in water, your brick, it is going to absorb water. In the water absorption test, the brick, what it is done, the brick is weighed at room temperature first of all. Okay, first of all, it is weighed at room temperature when bricks are completely dry. It should be dry, your brick should be dry first of all, and then what we do, we weigh that and we consider it to be W. Okay, then the bricks are soaked in water for 24 hours at room temperature, and then it is weighed again. That we consider it to be W1. Okay, so first of all, what we did, we have weighed the dry brick without any absorption of water in it. Dry brick, we consider it to be W, and then we soaked it in water for 24 hours. We have immersed that brick, we had immersed that brick in the water. Okay, we have immersed this brick on water, so for 24 hours, and after that, when we took out this thing, the brick, when we took out this brick, we weighed it again with the absorption of water. Now what happens, the percentage of water absorption of bricks will be how much, this W1 minus your the dry weight by the total uh, dry weight of the sample, that is your brick, into 100 will give you your what, how much percentage of water was absorbed by the brick, right? So as per Indian standards, the amount of water that is absorbed by the brick should not be more than 20% of its dry weight. You have to remember this, that your brick should not absorb more than 20% of its dry weight. Your brick should not absorb water more than 20% of its dry weight. Okay, so based on the Indian standard IS 1077 and 1237, the water absorption for various grades of bricks are as follows here. So what is that? First class brick, when we consider our brick to be first class brick, when the water absorption for first class brick should not be more than 20%. When it is not more than 20%, that means of its dry weight, 20%, when your brick can absorb less than 20% of water, that means it is very good brick because it does not absorb water. Because when it absorbs more water, what happens, it will not give that much of strength to resist your load, right? Because your brick has to carry those loads also over it, right? Like the cements or concretes which are to be used for joining the masonry. When you have to create the masonry, you have to use those. Then again, wind loads, etc., these, that, and extra load, miscellaneous loads are going to come. So for that, the first class bricks are those which absorb less than 20% of its dry weight. And second class brick, what about second class brick? When your brick is should not be greater, water absorption should not be greater than 22%. For third class is what, more than 25. So you have to remember this, that this question is very important also for you, because it is asked in your competitive exams also, like what is your first class brick, how much your water absorption is allowed according to Indian IS code. According to the IS code, how much water absorption is allowed for the first class brick, or the how much percentage of water can your first class brick absorb or allowed to absorb. The indifferently your question can be asked based on your this thing. Okay, so what we know, that first class brick is less than 20% water it will absorb, and your water absorption will not be greater than 22% if it is second class brick. If your water brick is not absorbing more than 25%, that means it is third class brick. But it is greater than 22%, then it is third class brick. Okay, 20, 22, and 25. Alright, so next lab experiment which we have to do is your crushing strength test on the brick. So this is your crushing strength test. After that, we'll go to the efflorescence test on the brick. So first is your what? Okay, this one. First is your Crushing strength test on the brick. The crushing strength test is determined by using the compression testing machine. We have done this in the laboratory also. This test we have done in the laboratory. Our material testing lab. Compression, that is the compressive strength, we have already determined the compressive strength or the crushing strength test of the brick. The bricks are pressed under the compression testing machine till it breaks or just on the point of crushing. Hmm. The all the values of the readings at the point of crushing or note down are, this is R, okay, are note down indicates the crushing strength of the brick. The minimum compressive strength of brick is 5 Newton per mm square. Minimum should be 5 Newton per mm square. The grade A brick for the first class brick, okay, this is brick for the first class brick, have the crushing strength value ranging between 5.7 to 14 Newton per mm square. This is also one of the important questions you will require in your future also. You need to know this, which is your for your exams point of view. That is your minimum crushing strength of your brick is how much? 5 Newton per mm square. And for the first class brick, your crushing strength should be between 7 to 14 Newton per mm square. Okay. The crushing strength should be 7 to 14 Newton per mm square. And for your normal, that is the minimum, it should be 5 Newton per mm square. The test is not described here proper completely. Why? Because we are just talking about in short about the different tests which we are going to, because in the lab we do that those things, but in the material testing syllabus which we got, we don't have these things right now. Okay, we have only the this compression, torsion, compact, etc. So these are not written or mentioned in our syllabus, so we are not doing, but this is a general. So generally I'm just explaining or briefing this to you. The what is your crushing strength, how much it should be, only those things I'm mentioning here. Okay, roughly I'm giving an idea. So this is your crushing strength. Now coming to the third one, which is your efflorescence test on brick. Now what is your efflorescence test? This one. What do you mean by your efflorescence test? Right? So what is the efflorescence test? In the efflorescence test, the presence of soluble salts is determined. Okay, so you know when we what happens? There are some minerals also. Okay, in the brick, so there may be salts present, soluble salts present in the brick, because it causes, and that we should identify that how much your soluble salt is present in your brick, so that that may not affect the strength of your brick or the stability of the brick. Okay, so because of that, what we do, the cause of efflorescence on the surface of the bricks, because of that we do the efflorescence test. In this test, what is done, the brick is soaked or immersed in water for 24 hours, like we did in the absorption test. We had soaked the brick. This two can be done together also. Okay, so what happens, 20, because from the water absorption test we got, after 24 hours soaking we got the how much percentage of water your brick is absorbing. After that, with the same brick we can do this test also, a fluorescence test. Okay, why? Because when we do this, we are immersing our water, sorry, we are immersing the brick for 24 hours, and then what we do, taken out, these bricks are taken out and allowed to dry completely. Okay, after the bricks are completely dry, the proper observation of the brick is done. When we, like in the absorption test, we had removed the brick from the it was immersed, our bricks were immersed in the water, our bricks was immersed in the water, and after 24 hours it was again brought out of this water. Okay, pulled out of this water, and then we had done the absorption test. That means we have checked how much is the weight of this now, and then we had checked how much water absorption is the has your brick. Okay, the property of water absorbing, how much percentage of water it can absorb, we have tested. But with the same brick, after removing, after moving out after 24 hours, what we do for the efflorescence test, we remove this brick from the water and then we let it dry. Okay, and then we observe what sometimes what happens, you will see some bricks when it is immersed in water, and then there will be some gray or white deposits in your brick. When it dries, you will see some white things, or a gray color, it is changing, this color is changing. Okay, when it dries after the 24 hours of soaking in water, and then it is dry, then you can see some bricks will show this kind of white or gray kind of deposits. That is nothing but what that indicates, that indicates your salt. Okay, how much soluble salts is present in your brick. So if there is no gray or white deposit, okay, if it is not present, if you can see after the removing the brick from the water, what happens if after drying it has no this gray kind of or white kind of deposit like this. If it is not there, what happens, is it indicates what, that there is absence of soluble salts. If there is any white deposit is present on surface of the brick, then there will be efflorescence, and it is necessary that brick should be treated before use in construction. There are various results. Are analyzed, and the bricks are classified as follows according to the area of bricks affected by the efflorescence. Okay, this also you have to know. When 10% of the exposed area of the brick is covered with a thin deposit of salt, then the difference is in, okay, I'll remove this. Okay, so there are various, okay, decrease this. Next is your dimension. Okay, so we have, there are various results. Okay, when 10% of the exposed area of the brick is covered with a thin deposit of salt, then the difference is in slight. When there is a heavy deposit of salt that covers up to 50% of the area of the brick surface, then the efflorescence will be in moderate. So this is the effect. Okay, how we can understand that how much efflorescence might take place in this kind of bricks. From this test we can understand, from the efflorescence test. If you see the observation, in your observation you see that your exposed area, that is the gray or the white, the white or the gray deposits, if you see, that is, if that covers 10% of the exposed area of the brick, that means your efflorescence is slight. Hmm. But if it is, but if it covers your salt area, that is the gray or the white, the this thing, the deposits, if it covers about 50% of the brick surface, then the efflorescence is considered to be moderate. When the exposed surface of the brick is more than 50% affected by the heavy deposit of salt, then the bricks are in the heavy efflorescence condition. Okay. Okay. So if there is a heavy deposit of salt is present on the surface of the brick, or there is flaking of the exposed surface, then the bricks are in serious efflorescence condition. Okay. So this is how you can understand from this efflorescence test that how much your brick is under the effect of efflorescence. If 10% exposed, it is okay, slight efflorescence may take place. If it is more than 50 or up to 50, sorry, up to 50, it is moderate. If more than 50, it is heavily efflorescence condition, in the heavy efflorescence condition. Okay, so I think like next is your dimensional stability test. But,
Ma'am,
hmm,
hello.
hello.
How the efflorescence affect the quality of the bricks?
Because if more salt is there, hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Because your efflorescence, right, how it happens, because it will have calcium carbonate or calcium sulfate, which will tend to be more difficult to brush it off. Okay, acid base actually. Okay, an acid base treatment is recommended in this case. because otherwise what will happen, your strength of the brick, because when your brick can absorb more of your salts are present in that, and because of the it will react with again with water and the other cements when you mix for the use in the mortar, when you make this one masonry structure. Okay, because what is, the white deposits, I think you understood what is the efflorescence, the presence of soluble salts we are considering, right? Efflorescence is not actually a good sign, because it means that your quality of the construction material may not have been the best. Okay, generally in your this experiment or efflorescence, generally it is not considered to be good, because due to the use of salt water during your construction, or through rains or salts like maybe your sulfates or magnesium, or sodium, calcium and calcium carbonate, these present in the wall will get dissolved. Okay.
Okay, that means, ma'am, more the efflorescence
Yeah,
in
it
the
is bad, it
bricks,
is
lesser
yeah,
the
it is
quality
good.
of the
Yeah,
bricks.
less
Okay, okay,
efflorescence, it is good. Because otherwise what will
thank
happen,
you.
suppose in your outer wall you are constructing a outer wall, okay, your house or a boundary wall suppose. So what will happen, uh, rain during rains or etc, evaporations will also take place. Once it rains, your what will happen, the your bricks are going to take that water, absorb, then again it is going to dry when your rain goes, and then sun shines on your bricks on the heat. As it heats up your this thing, your waters in the that is absorbed by your brick will get evaporated, and that evaporation will again cause your that those deposits like white color or gray color, that will give a bad impact. No, bad means will look bad in your walls, that patches will be there, because the previously absorbed water along like with your salts will appear on the walls as patches or layer of white powder, you can see. So obviously it will not look good in your wall, right? So that's why we need to treat this efflorescence. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
It for that only we try to find out the efflorescence test, how your otherwise it will react, and then it will give a very bad look to your also little bit impacting on your strength also. Okay, so that's why we need to check this. Now the dimensional stability test on brick. In the dimensional stability test, the bricks are wetted. There is a change in volume and linear dimension. The resistance to change of volume is called dimensional stability. Here, these things will have to be there. Okay, the dimensional stability test on brick. The bricks are saturated with water. Indicates 0.02% linear expansion, which is normal. Okay, so this is another test, which is your dimensional stability test on brick. That means we are testing on the stability of the dimension of the brick, right? So when we wet the bricks, what happens when we wet these bricks? There is a some kind of volume change, okay, but the resistance, those bricks which can resist to your this volume change, is your dimensional, has more stability to dimensional tests, or you can say there is less change in dimensions. Okay, they can resist the change in the dimension when your brick is subjected to water or other liquid kind of materials. Okay, the materials are saturated with water indicates 0.02 linear expansion. Okay, there will be some expansion, okay, when your brick is wet, or it is the brick is poured inside the water or immersed inside the water, there may be some kind of dimensional expansion, that is, but it is normal when it is up to 0.02% linear expansion. Up to that it is normal. Okay, the bricks which undergo more linear expansion are not good for construction work, and it indicates that they are underburnt bricks. Underburnt. Okay, bricks should also show dimensional stability when they are heated. Okay, so This is one of the test, dimensional stability test, that is the linear expansion is limited to 0.02% of the expansion. Hmm. If it is more, your this dimensional change is more than your 0.02%, that means your brick is not burnt properly. There are different classes of bricks. I think you got or not. There are different classes of brick: first class, second class, third class bricks, and then you have overburnt brick, poorly burnt brick, bricks, etc. Okay, so when you have this much, when your expansion is more than 0.02%, that means your brick is underburnt, it is not burned properly. Okay, and it has not attained that much strength to resist different loads or carry different loads. Okay, now we have done this, the tests on the laboratory, which we can do the laboratory. That means what? Laboratory test, basically water absorption. We have to use the brick inside and immerse that on the water only. Okay, but you can do outside also, not needed laboratory, but generally this is called laboratory test. But on the field itself, when you don't have these water or other things like um, other materials, if you don't have water to immerse that your brick, etc., something like that, then you, on the field itself, you are there, already you have bite, you have selected your bricks, you have brought from the shop, from the manufacturer, you have brought the bricks already now, or you are asked to check the brick quality on the site itself. Then these are some of the site tests easily on the site, on in just a few seconds you can check whether your brick quality is good or not. You can see that in the site itself. So these are what those field tests are. These field tests are also one of the most important, which are carried out on the site during construction. The field test, suppose you have bought one batch of your brick and that is over. Now from somewhere else brick is bought, so on the site itself some other person has bought, but you need to check the brick quality before, just before your using in some construction. So you can also check on the field by these methods. Hardness test on the brick. The hardness test of brick is used to determine the resistance of bricks to abrasion. In the hardness test of the bricks or scratches made on the exposed surface of the brick by a fingernail. So this is the hardness test on your site. When you have the brick with you, what you'll do with your fingernails, you'll just scratch your brick. Hmm. In the hardness of the brick or scratches made on the exposed surface of the brick. After making scratches on the surface of the brick, there is any impression. If there is any impression left on the brick, then the brick is not sufficiently hard to wear. There should not be any impression left on the brick. Understood? So on the site, what how the hardness test on the brick you can check. You can take the brick, you can just scratch with your nails, and if there is some any kind of the impressions on the blade, that means it is not resistant to any wear, because your fingernails only it could not resist the wear, or the wear from your fingernails only it could not resist, how it can resist different strong wears. Okay, so that is not good for you, that is not hard enough to resist wear. Okay, we can say that. Now the to check the soundness test on the brick on the side, what we can do, soundness test. The soundness test is one of the important tests, okay, which are commonly used in your check the to check the quality of the bricks on the construction site. The soundness test is one of the simple and the easiest test which anyone can do on the site. Soundness test is nothing, you just have to hit the two bricks in the soundness test. See here, it is already mentioned. The two bricks are struck with each other. The bricks sound should not break. The brick should not break while it was struck with each other, but should you what is this, but it should show a metallic ringing sound. Okay, this is something is missing here. Okay, something is wrong here. The brick should not break. Okay, when you hit the two bricks together, it should provide you, or it should make a metallic ringing sound. Okay, it should not break. The metallic ringing sound of the brick indicates the good quality of the brick. Okay, so the first one was in on the site itself, how you can check the hardness by scratching with your nail, fingernail. Then second is the sound of the brick will check by when you take two bricks, you will hit the two bricks. if there is metallic sound and it is not breaking your the two bricks, that means your good quality brick. It is a good quality brick. Okay, this general things can be asked to you sometimes in interviews also. Okay, how you can check the quality on the site itself. You're given a brick, you just tell me whether the brick quality is good or not. So you can check in this way. These are some of the criterias on the site to check. Okay, now another one is the impact test. Okay, impact test. In the impact test of the bricks, the brick is allowed to drop flat from a height of 1 meter on the ground. After dropping the brick on the ground, it should not break or crush into pieces. If the brick gets cracked or crushed into pieces, then it indicates the best quality of the if the brick gets cracked or crushed into pieces, then it indicates the best quality of the brick. I think it's it's a bit okay. Where is this? Okay. Okay, so here this is wrong. Okay, sorry, but this is wrong. How I think I'll write a text here. If the brick gets cracked or crushed into pieces, that it indicates not best. Okay, this should be bad. Bad. So what is your impact test? Impact test will show you that how much your brick is resistant to, मतलब how much strength it has. Okay, so when you will what you will do, you will take the brick, you take the brick in your hand, then you drop it to from a height of 1 meter. Okay, you will drop the brick from a height of 1 meter. When you drop flat to the ground, what happens? uh, the good brick, the good quality brick will not break, or if it cracks or if it breaks into pieces, it is not a good quality brick. But if these are not there, if your brick does not break, if your brick does not break or does not show any kind of cracks, that means what? That means it is a good quality brick. It is a good quality brick. Okay, so next and the last one in your site, what you can do is your shape and the size test on the, sorry, not last one, the shape and the size test on the brick. The shape and size of a brick should be uniform and standard size. The shape of the standard brick should be rectangular. The brick should have uniform color and the edges should be straight. These things you can just check with the brick. You can just take and check whether the dimensions are uniform or standard size is not there, is there or not. The shape of the it should be rectangular shape. Okay, the brick should have uniform color. Okay, not like that, like half of it is dark red, half of this is orange or something like that. Okay, check whether the brick should be well burnt. The brick should have a copper color or reddish color, and it should be free from cracks and should have sharp edges. Okay, this all, the above criteria show that a brick is of a good quality. This shape and size one you can just take in your hand and you can just observe and you can see whether it's a good quality brick or not. Okay. So next is your structure test of a brick. The structure of the brick should be compact, homogeneous, and free from holes and lumps. Okay. The brick should not be broken. Same thing, it is necessary that you should observe the overall structure of the brick so that you can understand the condition and the quality of the brick. So structure, shape and size, you can together you can check. Like when you see the brick, you can understand whether it is rectangular, properly rectangular or not, the dimensions are okay or not. Then again, when you take in the hand itself, whether it is uniformly rectangular or not, color is uniform or not, edges are all right or not, straight edges. Okay, it should not have lumps or holes in cavities inside it. Okay, so these will help start. That is a structure test on the site itself. You can check. Okay, so this were your brick tests. Okay, on the field and on the sites. Sorry, on the field and on the lab. Okay,
Ma'am,
let me also.
ma'am, I have seen two types of bricks. One which is made of a concrete and one which is made of a clay, like in our dear Panikete. So which one is better and
Brick.
why? Yeah, I have seen one made of concrete and
Hmm.
one made of clay, which is in Paniketi also.
Clay means what? That
So
is everywhere the brick which you use, that is made up of your this earth only, soil. Okay, clay or soil you can say. With that only it is made. Concrete bricks is
there
made.
is another bricks
Concrete
concrete which
brick
is
is made for your concrete blocks. You know, in the road which you use concrete blocks, for that you don't use your concrete brick in your building because it will, it will increase your weight of your structure. So we use the normal bricks, but we use the masonry work which we have discussed. I think we have discussed in our this classes, last classes. Masonry, I think I have talked with you. So masonry structures, why we do that? Because we use concrete to to hold the bricks together, and then we form a wall, and then different walls are joined together, and then it is a structure, it is a roof. We don't use concrete bricks, okay, because it is heavy. It may be strong enough, but I think that concrete is cement, or concrete is very much weak in strong in compression but weak in your tension. Okay, so we use lightweight, bricks are lighter in weight, so we use bricks with the use of mortar or cement concrete to hold them together to give that much strength to resist the load. Okay, your concrete one is not because of the your it will increase your weight of the structure. Okay, and only compressions will be there, and then it will crack easily. Your concrete hydrates fast and it will crack easily, more easily than your bricks. Okay, because
okay.
your concrete, your cement will react with water, but it is not in that. It is not the case in your bricks. Okay, and when you said about bricks, it is actually not like that. Like a brick, it was made. Maybe it was your concrete which you're talking about, the concrete brick. It was not a brick, but it was made a kind of brick, but it is not a brick. Okay, because bricks are of different types. Okay, because like it can be first class brick, second class brick, third class brick, like that, or well burnt, over burnt bricks are of these types, not concrete, or for that, for research purpose you can make. Okay, it can be clay, your brick kind of structure can be made of clay, concrete, lime. There are different materials you can use, like fly ash also you can use. Okay, with clay also you can use, but it depends like for what purpose you are using your that brick. Okay, based on your purpose of the construction, you are going to use your the type of brick, like whether it is a concrete brick, whether it is clay brick, whether you are using with a lime. Okay,
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, what about practical, ma'am? The remaining practical you
remaining,
mentioned
this
that
what
we
is that
couldn't
called?
do.
No, practicals we had. Obviously we don't have the material, but we have discussed the things right in the lab, like the compression testing. Impact testing, torsion testing we have done. Okay. In your syllabus, only these things were there, and tension tensile testing was there, but that is machine was bad there, that's why we could not show. But other things are not mentioned. So whatever we have done in the this lab classes, those are only for your lab, and you have to also go through your theory portions. Like here now I'm talking about your water absorption test, brick test. On the theory class only I'm talking about these tests also, right? So for your practicals you can go through these theories also based on your which have your practicals inside it. Okay.
Okay, okay. The in Viva,
Yeah, for Bible.
practical. Okay, okay.
Practical
So,
also
ma'am,
what we have done, like compression testing, torsion, impact. You can see tensile also, and then here the like brick testing. I'll be talking about some more tests in these recent classes, next classes. So like today we have talked about different brick tests, so that also can be included in your Viva. Okay, like the test kind of things which I'm discussing in your class theory classes. Also Viva, lab Viva theory is also a little bit basics are important. Okay.
if you can please give some topics
Yeah,
which
yes.
we should prepare from the theory portions for the Viva examinations. That will be
Hmm.
help more.
Okay. Let me share
Some
your
important topics.
important topics means that only. Material testing means only your these things. What is that called? Material testing will be brick testing, concrete testing, how you do the concrete sand test, the concrete soil. Soil test is generally not us, but still it might be. So brick tests, then what is brick, like that different related to your materials, it is going to be asked. Like for materials, I think different materials I have talked cement and all, how many types, etc. Those are also important because they are materials, right? We have talked about. Let me, what I was about to do, your attendance link, right? Okay, I think I'll be sharing your, okay, I'll share here only. Where is the chat box? I have shared the link. You can go and give your attendance.
Ma'am, one more thing, ma'am. Hello. Uh, some good student are interested to do your practical whenever university will open.
University is not going to open now. I think for that you're going to have your exam.
Yeah, no. Then further after examination also when
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
any semester.
Yeah, when you come, then you have to take out time for your those practicals.
No, some good student want to. So
Okay. Yeah, that we can discuss when college will reopen. We have to, because since your different semester will start, your different classes, different labs, so we have to take out time. If those who want, they can take out different times for those labs.